I'm going to just finish now and talk about fire blight because it's become a really critical issue. So fire blight is a bacterial disease. All bacterial diseases are opportunists, by which I mean they need an opportunity to get into the vascular system of the tree. So for the longest time, up where I was, fire blight really wasn't a concern because it's cool. These are bacteria that take this opportunity when temperatures are above 80 and it's moist. So some of you might have seen this kind of shepherd's crook that occurs on the ends of shoots and kills trees. That's the bacteria getting into that shoot. Another big opportunity for fire blight, probably the biggest, is every time a blossom opens, it's not yet colonized by microbes, and yet it's an opening into the vascular system of the tree. And so in spring, during bloom, how do we protect those flowers? So there are products you can buy. Blight Ban is a Pseudomonas bacteria. Blossom Protect are 2 species of yeast. These are things that create a dynamic where there are now competitors. Fire blight does not do well with competitors. It's an opportunist. And so when I face the right conditions during bloom on my spray schedule, you'll see something called competitive colonization boost. And this is my 100-gallon tank mix, but your handout actually has this in terms of the backpack. But it's all about not interfering with the bees, stimulating that flavonoid synthesis, making a competitive environment in the blossom. And I'm going to end here. I got pretty close to this. But I really want to emphasize this part of your handout. And you got it in color, which is amazing. A lot of what I've been talking about, now you see the where it's applied. And this is a handout that's made to be really broad. It's for like every possible disease, every kind of condition. So if we had more time, I would get into how I divided it up. So the primary infection window. I talk about holistic applications that are made at the week of quarter-inch green and a pink and a petal fall and 7 to 10 days later. You don't have to understand the why of that. We're not even explaining it yet. But it overlaps when scab happens. It mostly overlaps when rust happens. You get into the fruit sizing window. That's the tail end of rust. But this is all fire blight time. So if you're doing this coverage, you're taking care of aspects that are maybe a little bit beyond the ability of healthy plant metabolism to take care of. You're knocking things back so it's not such an overwhelming presence. Now, in talking about disease, we also have to mention if it's a really rainy spring, that's going to be a lot more fungal and challenging than a really sunny, dry spring. The orange part of this has to do with insects, and we can talk about that some more this afternoon. I didn't even get into the summer sprays, which you're not necessarily going to do, but if you're dealing with, let's say, brown rot on peaches, rots are an issue, and they're going to become more of an issue as it gets warmer in the summer, especially a wet summer. You have to understand how calcium and silica play a big role. So I have this thing where I work with fermented plant extracts, but you can also buy calcium and silica products. Well, I'm actually fermenting herbs that offer those nutrients, but it's making a stronger cuticle. Another simple way, if you're a home orchardist, you've been dealing with brown rot, right once the fruit sets, if you start doing a spray every 10 to 14 days of diluted whole milk, 1 to 10, you're introducing calcium and you're beefing up that cuticle. Again, you don't have to get into knowing about this, you don't have to write books, but I get fascinated by it because it's the way to understand. But ultimately, it comes down to building that fungal ecosystem, using trace minerals at those critical points of influence, and recognizing where you have to do a little bit more to deal with something that's a little bit more challenging than nature can deal with. And if you're commercial, you're probably going full bore with this or some other approach. If you're a home orchardist, it might do that you do the 4 sprays of spring, really lessen scab. You deal with some clay because of cocoolio, and there's other ways we can talk about to deal with that. Maybe you have peaches and you do that diluted milk spray. And it might be that you're doing 6, 7, 8 sprays. Maybe I do about 12 sprays, but it varies what I'm doing and why. It does seem complicated. Eventually the tree has bigger branches. It's shading the ground. The fungi are working. Comfrey is your living mulch plant. It's going to become easier. It's going to become better. Odds are that by the time you're 90, you'll pick a peach. 90.